Welcome back to AllTheMons. I'm Bumstar, and last episode we crafted our first unbound Pika Star, and we made Mewtwo. But before we can start working towards the Regional Pika Stars, there's one more major item we need, the Ancient Origin Ball. This thing is incredibly important because it's used in Pika Star, and on top of that, it's just a Master Ball. So to craft it, we're going to need the unobtainium AllTheMons alloy, which means we're finally going to be getting into some of the basics of Ars Nouveau. So today we're going to be unlocking the alloy production and set up some basics of Ars Nouveau. So in between episodes, I went ahead and set up the automated process for this unbound Pika Star crafting. And to do that, I used Super Factory Manager. I will post this down in the description. This is all the code needed to make it work. This is all of the labels that I set up here. It's kind of hard to read some of them, but essentially it's just labeling what you want it to be. But that way, making the unbound Pika Stars doesn't take me forever to put all of these items in. I can just request them with the pattern provider I have back here. And I have a pattern here with all of the items that we need except for the badges and the unbound egg. Or sorry, the bound egg, imbued egg, that's what it's called. The badges will be sent into this dimensional chest that I have underneath here. And that's where the unbound Pika Star also gets sent. It's directly underneath this last block. So the unbound Pika Star and the badges get sent there. And then the badges are then pulled through Super Factory Manager and pushed directly back into this. So even if we don't have any of the items in here, when we craft the star, those badges will just get put directly back where they need to go. And then when you request the star, all of the items that you need to make the unbound star will be put into this chest here, and Super Factory Manager then takes all of those items and puts them into the slots that are needed. So it just automatically fills up. And then I made a bit of a mistake. I set up all of this Ars stuff and explained how to do all of this Ars stuff while I wasn't recording. I forgot to push the record button. So I'm going to walk you through it now, even though it's already set up. So the first thing I did is I set up a functional storage drawer with lapis in it, and I put a pusher upgrade to push down into the imbuement chamber. That then pushes the lapis down, turns it into a source stone, and then I have another functional storage drawer down here with the source stone, and it has to be locked to make sure that you're not just pulling the lapis straight through, and that has a puller upgrade to pull from the up direction. I then went ahead and set up the ergonomic source links. I have one here, and I have one here, so that way all 5 of our 9x9 growth towers are being utilized. I then have a source jar on top of those, and I use that source jar to make the ender source jar, which is just a source jar with 4 ender pearls and 4 popped chorus fruits in our enchanting apparatus down here. And that's just a arcane core with the enchanting apparatus and 8 petals, or pedestals. And then I put hoppers on top to automate these a little bit. So that way it just pushes through. Once we had our ender jars set up, and I went ahead and made an ender jar for each setup here. So I have 2 ender jars being filled through this. I have an ender jar here that is powering our source to speed up our source stone. I have an ender jar here to power this whenever we need source for a enchant. And then I set these up for the essences because these essences are needed for the unobtainium AllTheMons alloy. And I have a source jar for each one of these. All this is the exact same setup over here, except it's source gems at the top into the imbuement chamber with 3 pedestals behind and 3 specific items. If you look at the recipes for the essences, it tells you what items are needed. So you put those on the pedestal with a source gem in the imbuement chamber, and that'll make that essence. So we have fire essence, water essence, air essence, and earth essence. Got enough of those, so that way we could come over here, and we use AllTheMons and unobtainium with piglet hearts, and then one of each of those 4 essences, and that makes our unobtainium AllTheMons alloy. Really, really easy setup. This is pretty much what you need for all the basic materials of Ars. There's a few more essences that you could craft for other things, and if you plan on getting into Ars any further than this, you're definitely going to need those, so it's worth setting those up. I apologize for not having the footage of me setting those up. I debated tearing it down and doing it all over again, but it's not hard at all. If you have any questions about Ars at all, please make sure to leave them in the comments below. I will answer every single one of them. But with those alloys set up, we can come back in here, and this is where I started setting up our ancient balls. And a lot of this is all stuff that we've done before. If you're unsure how to set this up, especially this tower here with the pattern providers, barrels, and 2 modular routers, my video of me automating the unobtainium and vibranium balls, which I have over here, can be found on my channel. And I explain in detail how to do every single one of these steps to completely automate all of this. But over here, we're pretty much using the same system. We are pulling our tumblestone from this interface, and it's being sent into milestones to turn into dust. And then that dust is being sent into a basin with water to be mixed with a mechanical mixer to make our tumblestone coating for all 3 of them. And then over here, we have a ancient debris, lava, stamp, standard, light, and dense tumblestone all being poured on top of a lid to make the ancient origin ball lid. And it has to go through that twice. So we have 1 row here doing that, and then over here is another row doing the exact same thing. Now over here, this is where we needed the alloy ingot, because right here we need the unobtainium alloy ingot pushed onto the ancient origin ball lid, or ancient origin ball, twice. So we needed 20 alloys total to make the 10 balls needed for all of the Pika Stars. I went ahead and made a few more alloys than we needed, so that way we can make a couple of the balls for ourselves to just play around with them, because, well, it's 100% capture rate on anything. Why wouldn't we want some? Now with all of this set up, we should be able to come in here and request this. Although do I have the pattern? No, I don't have the pattern set up for the final one. So let's go ahead and set that up. Here's the pattern for the 5 of 6. And it's just pretty much taking the 5 of 6 here. And then we need to put a blank ball lid here. And then put the ancient origin ball. And we place that in this pattern. And then we should be able to request, I think, yeah, 12 more of these. Yeah, because we have 24 there. We already used 2 to make the one when we were setting up the patterns. So let's craft it. And we can watch it happen. Maybe. Something is getting stuck. Okay, what we're going to do is we're actually going to blacklist the ancient origin ball on that, because that is pulling from there. And then this one is sending here. So let's go ahead and blacklist ancient origin ball. That should work. Alright, let's go ahead and try that craft again. There we go. Alright, so then it's being put over here. Being pulled. That's being placed here. Gonna get its another star. So we have 13 ancient origin balls, which means we can have 3 of them to play with, and then the other 10 are for crafting the stars. We need what, 8 more unbound Pika Stars? So let's get those crafted, which means we're gonna need more of our Patrick U and Ditto spawn eggs here. Unfortunately, I haven't been grabbing these when I need to. I only have 2, so we're gonna need to get these guys to breed. So we're gonna have to wait for those eggs. I'm sure there's a way that we can make this quicker. We could probably spawn a couple more of these Star U's, well, Patrick Star U's. Get a couple more Dittos and go about that way and just have a bigger farm. But I would rather just sit here AFK, wait for these eggs to spawn while I'm editing, and jump back in here once we have them all. So I will see you guys when that's done. Alright, so we are on to our last unbound Pika Star. Got everything in. The auto crafting has been working great. And yeah, just let this craft down. Perfect. We've got our 10 unbound Pika Stars, which now means we should be able to craft our summoning altar. Here it is. Yep. All of that's done. And then we've just got a couple things that we have to set up for the summoning altar in order to make the actual different regional Pika Stars. It's going to be the summoning altar down, And then we're going to need 4 different statues and 4 display stands. In those display stands, we're going to need the ancient unobtainium ball, the ancient AllTheMons ball, the ancient vibranium ball, and the ancient origin ball. And then we need a party of 6 with 6 Pokemon from each region. And that will make that specific region's star. You know what? We're going to put it right here. This should be enough room. Put the summoning altar down. And then if we click on the actual one of these stars here and we click this button, it shows us the pattern. Yeah, that's plenty of room for this. But in order to make these different statues and display boxes, we need the Fernie Crafter from Cobble Fernies. And that's pretty simple. It's just an iron axe with shears and some planks. And then to make these, we just need some stone and just 3 of each. And we're going to need the Bulbasaur, Squirtle, Charmander, and Pikachu statue. Bulbasaur, Charmander, Pikachu, and Squirtle. Let's put this back out. And we'll put the Squirtle statue here. The Bulbasaur statue here. The Pikachu statue here. And the Charmander statue there. The display cases are pretty simple. So we'll make 4 of those. And then let's place those 4 display stands down. Do I have these down correctly? That's Squirtle. That's Charmander. Okay, I had those backwards. There we go. Now it's done. And this is what we use to make our Regional Pika Stars. So let's head over to our PC here. And we want to make sure that we're grabbing everything from Gen 1. And now the only thing I'm concerned with is, does this get rid of the Pokemon? Or do you get to keep them? That I'm not sure of. So I'm going to get rid of any of the ones that I want to make sure that we're keeping from our party to test this out. So we've got Horsey, Raichu, Lickitung, Vulpix, Slowpoke, and Ponyta. Let's make sure to grab all of the balls that we need. Let's place them all in the display stands here. Is that right? Oh, that's the ball mechanism. That wouldn't have worked. Put the AllTheMons ball there. Let's go ahead and get our whole party out. Let's grab our unbound Pika Star. Click it on the altar. Did I forget something? Oh no, I forgot about the Mega Stones. The balls don't go in here. The balls go in to the summoning altar. We put Mega Stones at the display cases, so we need to go get quite a few Mega Stones. And we could get them from the battle tower, or we could go get them with our explorer's compass. I know we have one this way, but we've already mined that one. Yeah, we're gonna have to RTP and pick a couple of these up, just like we have before. And by a couple of these, it's gonna be a lot, because I believe this is going to be 4 Megastones per. Oh, it's actually any of these regular Megastones work. So we could use the ones that we already have crafted, but we're gonna need 4 per craft. Or actually, I think we just need 4 total. So I'm just gonna fly around and grab those 4 real quick, and yeah, then we'll start. I got my 4 Mega Stones here. We're gonna go ahead and just craft these into the actual Mega Stones. I think, yeah, hopefully we can just use 4 of the same. But I think the regular Mega Stones won't work. At least that's the vibe I'm getting from the quest line. So we're gonna do that. We're gonna pull out our 6 Pokemon. And then we just need to offer our Pika Star. It's working. It's working. It's working. There we go. We got our first regional Pika Star. And I'm gonna be honest with you, I don't really know what this is used for, but we got it. I know it unlocks the access to legendaries for this region. I mean, obviously we have Mewtwo already, but on the plus side, it didn't sacrifice these Pokemon, so we can just go through our thing and grab 6 Pokemon from each region, which is exactly what I'm gonna do. Oh no, it did eat our Mega Stones though. Oh man, I really don't want to have to do the battle tower more. Just takes a while. But that's probably going to be our best option to get Mega Stones, because RTPing everywhere took forever. Because it's like a 10-minute cooldown between RTPs. It's just a lot of running around to get those. So I guess I will see you guys in a second. It'll be a second for you. For me, it's probably gonna be a couple hours of this, because I need to get a ton of Mega Stones. And to be honest, I'm gonna steal some of the Mega Stones that I have on a couple Pokemon. I think I have 4 on 4 different Pokemon. They're just gonna go into the display stands here and be eaten up, because yeah, I can't be bothered. This is the last episode after all. I'm not gonna need them after this. If you're not at this point yet, do yourself a favor. Start collecting Mega Stones now. Get as many as you can immediately, because you're going to need so many of them. I'll see you in a second. Alright, so I think I have everything together. I even went through and organized by generations to have 6 Pokemon from each generation. I think I did this right, and hopefully we can use duplicates, because if not, I'm gonna have to go catch Pokemon. I grabbed my 4 Mega Stones, and then I made 32 more. Just super simple one to make. Place those in the altar. Let's pull all of our Pokemon out in the center. Grab our unbound Pika Star, and here we go. This should be our Gen 2 star. There we go. Got our Jetonian Pika Star. That works. Let's go switch out our Pokemon. Doing this has made me realize that I used a lot of Gen 1, because, well, I'm a Gen 1 Andy. Like, all my diversity is through Gen 1. Alright, it works. Doesn't matter if we have duplicates. That's perfect. There we go. Our Hohonian. Oh, there's progress on them. Interesting. It's to actually catch every single one. Okay. So we would have to, like, full complete the Pokédex to get them fully progressed. Okay, so that's definitely another end game thing that we could work towards if we chose to. But that feels like a lot. There's a lot of steps to get to these Pika Stars to even get to that point. It is a great thing for completionists. If you're planning on completing the Pokédex and doing these stars, that's definitely a goal to work towards, and a fun one at that. Oh no, I grabbed, who do I have in here that's not from Sinnoh? Maybe, is it Mime Jr.? I thought Mime Jr. was part of this. Let's go ahead and grab Munchlax, because that should count. There we go. Yep, it was Mime Jr. I thought Mime Jr. was a part of that, but maybe it's one of the regional forms. Alright, and then our last generation here, and we're still missing one, and I can't, for some reason I'm drawing a complete blank and can't remember which generation that is. I'm sure if you're a Pokemon fan, you can cook me in the comments below because of it. But I'm going to do this last one here, and then we'll figure out what the other one is. All right, and that is 9 Pika Stars here, with very, very little progress made towards their their count, unfortunately. So the one that we're missing is the Will of Arceus. And I feel like, is that going to be for legendaries? I feel like that's going to be for legendaries, right? Like, because there's 9 generations of Pokemon. I know that much. And that's where I was kind of confused, because I'm like, I have the 9 generations all split up. What are we doing? This has to be a legendary one. So in order to get the shiny Pika Star, we're going to have to complete all of this, I think, right? Because, yeah. All right, and there we have it. Our regional Pika Stars have been crafted. Well, minus the legendary one, but you know, if you're interested in doing that, you know how to get to that point. And well, I have faith in you. It's going to be a journey, but it's going to be a ton of fun. What started out as just another Minecraft modded playthrough turned into something way bigger than I expected. We explored, we automated, we battled through gyms, we rebuilt our team, we chased down resources, unlocked legendaries, and honestly had a ton of fun doing it, as well as changing our goal a couple times throughout. There's still so much more that could be done in this pack. More Pokemon to catch, more automation to build, plenty of late game goals like the AllTheMons Star, and full completing every Pika Star and getting the shiny Pika Star, which honestly I really do want to get. I just don't want to spend the time to do so. But for this journey, well, this feels like a perfect place to bring it to a close. I just want to say thank you to everyone that watched the series, left comments, gave suggestions, and followed along through all of my chaos, bad decisions, and huge progression moments. The series has been an absolute blast to record. And while our time in AllTheMons may be wrapping up, that definitely isn't the end. Because next, we're moving on to a brand new adventure. ATM 11 is here. And we're taking everything we learned from this series with us. So if you enjoyed this journey, make sure to leave a like, subscribe if you're new, and let me know down below what your favorite moment from the series was. Thank you all so much for watching. I'll see you in the next adventure. Later.